always something about my hair. You know what? I got you with the fix. There we go. Better. I look like it too, but it's gonna have to work. Yeah, better. There we go. Yo, what's going on? It's Shiraq. Welcome back. And it's finally 2020, man. Happy New Year's to everyone watching this. And make sure you like and subscribe as always. Let's get into it. In this video, I just want to tell you guys how to avoid failure. You might think that's kind of ironic because my channel hasn't hit 1,000 subscribers yet, but we get in there. We haven't failed yet. The progress is just slow, you feel me? Number one, you gotta make room for feelings. No matter what, no matter how many times you fail, you have to make room for feeling. You have to feel rage, anger. You can't hold any of that back, because if you hold all that back, you're gonna feel frustrated and you're going to fail. You're gonna eventually give up in the future. You just gotta make room for feelings. That's very important, man, if you don't want to fail. Obviously, you are gonna fail. It's inevitable. Failure is inevitable. Everybody fails at something. But when you do fail, don't hold the feeling back. Feel rage, anger, whatever you gotta do. Because if you don't, that could emotionally stop you from progressing. Everybody gotta fail before they progress. You feel me? So you gotta make room for feelings. Number two, you gotta focus on the failure, not the person. If you fail, don't think of yourself as a failure. Think of it as a mistake you made as a person. It was a failure. Whatever you tried to do was a failure. You're not the failure in the situation. You gotta keep that in mind. Number three, always identify the wrong outcomes. You gotta think about the future. You understand? You gotta think about all the worst possible outcomes that could come out of you progressing with this, and be prepared to take your next step when those outcomes happen. You gotta be prepared for those outcomes, because if you're not, again, you're gonna fail. Big time. Number four, allow yourself to fail. This might seem like I'm just repeating myself, but this is another bullet point, because a lot of people stress over not wanting to fail. And they forget that people who've been successful in life failed multiple times before they could get to where they are. So don't try to stop yourself from failure. Allow yourself to fail so you can get to the point at where you don't fail anymore. Feel me? Number five, do not fret over the failures, man. If you fail, don't keep thinking about it. Don't keep thinking about that time you failed. You need to accept the failure and move on with your life, because there's nothing you can do. It already happened. All you can do is progress and learn from the mistake you made. Number six, anything meaningful carries risk. You need to know that. You can't go into anything expecting to succeed 100%. There is always gonna be a risk. You need to remember that. Number seven, you need to avoid excuses and assigning blame. Don't blame other people for your mistake. You need to take responsibility. That will really build your character, and you'll be able to avoid failure a lot easier that way, because you're taking responsibility for something that happened. Number eight, when you do fail, you need to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How did I fail? What was the mistakes I made along the way that led me to that failure? And learn from that. Like I said before, it sounds repetitive, but it is another bullet point. And learn from that and do better. Number nine, you need to create some leeway for some actions. Think about what you can do next. Think about the very directions you can go, and you can't keep focused on one direction. You gotta have multiple options in mind, because failure is inevitable. Everyone is going to fail. You never know when failure could come. So you need to have multiple directions. Number 10, and the final and last point, you need to ask yourself, what is going to come out of this? What's positive that's gonna benefit me or everybody else that's gonna come out of this? You need to ask yourself that. And remember, there's little point in asking this question immediately right after you fail, because you haven't gathered all the information yet. You haven't gathered to know how to get around that situation. So you have to wait a little bit. And with that said, have a happy new year, and I hope that 2020 is prosperous. It's 2020 vision from here on, man. And drop a like and a sub if you enjoyed that video. And thanks for watching. And until next time, it's Shiraq signing off. Peace. Be successful, man.